selling units for quite large sums, around $1 million. If a hotel was built, you would provide all the financing, I presume. In this economic climate, I do have to wonder if in fact it is financially viable now, and if you yourselves would be able to raise the capital to build this, because otherwise we will be left with a half-finished or unsaleable construction, which will come back as a burden and a white elephant for the town. I know to a certain extent I digress here, but that reference at the end that Mr. Faustino referred to does mention condominium hotel in there. I just wanted to make that point. Pat, have you finished?
Actually, I hadn't finished responding to her comments yet,
Right.
but what we don't want to do here, what is beyond the scope of your responsibility, is to begin to speculate on the business plan and the market and financing and the such.
I'm not speculating.
Just like you had said at the onset of tonight's meeting, we want to limit the discussion to the application itself.
Right, so why did you put those two things at the end?
You referred to the artistic rendering, and
Right.
that's what it is. It's an artistic rendering. So if you're looking for architectural detail, you won't find it.
I wasn't looking.
That's for illustration purposes only. Like you said earlier, those will come later in the site plan meeting and so on.
I just wanted to address the financing at that point.
The member Faustino mentioned a few things that I wanted to address before we move on. She mentioned being burdened by the additional rooms. Keep in mind that we have currently there 58 rooms. What we're proposing is a maximum of 99. So at most, that would be an additional 41 rooms. The addition of 41 rooms to 1,849 units that this town currently has is far from a burden. So when you say it's a burden, what do you mean?
I also stated that I feel that, I personally feel that an additional 40 rooms you have a very narrow frontage.
A burden in what way, though?
I'm explaining it, okay? So, you have a 40-foot frontage, you have a building with a driveway to the south of you that is close to the property line. You have a building with a driveway to the north of you that is close to the property line, and you're proposing to put two in ingress and an egress. And I'm saying the proximity of these four driveways could be a problem, that's all, with the additional traffic.
The width of our property is 100 feet, not 40 feet.
Not on A1A.
The width of our property is 100 feet.
Yes,
And
Peter's
again,
correct.
what we're
Peter's correct.
Am I wrong?
Mr. Chairman, this is, it's getting out of hand. This is like amateur hour here. We've got people that really don't know what they're talking about, making statements.
Well, member
It's driving me
Faustino,
crazy.
Okay, what is it?
member Faustino again is getting into items
Okay,
that would
obviously-
be discussed in the site plan and not.
Apparently
not in
I've
this
forgotten
meeting.
the width of the frontage of the ocean front is, and everything else.
Another
It's 100 feet, exactly the same.
Okay, I apologize.
Another item that you mentioned was that what we were proposing doesn't comply with the current standards.
Right,
What we're proposing is the current commercial redevelopment of this site. We're establishing these commercial standards. They don't currently exist because there are only residential uses in town.
I'm aware of that.
So it would be impossible for us to build what we're proposing and meet your current residential standards.
That's true.
So why would you say that they don't meet the standards if you know that that's an impossibility?
Actually, Peter, this discussion is not relevant.
Well, she
because
brought
when
up-
we-
She's
yeah,
gonna
She brought up some valid points
I
that I
know.
need
She's
to
gonna
address,
I know.
because these seem to be the issues that keep coming up.
She hasn't a
And if
clue.
you're going to base your recommendation, it should be on the facts.
yes,
Here.
yes.
Now,
But we
she
are getting beyond. You're talking about what you would produce. The application here is not for you producing anything. The application here is to make it possible for people, any developer, to see what could be allowed. I mean, you're not doing this for yourself if you read the amendments. There are amendments that would apply to that site.
Are you
So,
suggesting only giving us those rights?
no,
Because
these rights will be given to anyone who owns that site.
That's what the law provides.
Right.
Doing what you're proposing would be in violation of our Florida statutes.
Your amendments,
These would be
amendments,
vested rights in the property.
Absolutely.
They wouldn't be the applicant's rights.
the amendments you're proposing are for that site, that property. Anyone who owns that site, will, if those amendments were approved, would be subject to,
No different
Those
than
amendments.
anyone who would purchase your property would
Correct.
be entitled to the same rights
Correct.
that you currently have. The same rules apply. One other thing that Member Festino mentioned was the doubling of traffic.
I
Now,
know.
we've done a number of traffic studies,
No, I know that.
and we have concurrency reports from the county.
And
But
nowhere
she
in here
mentioned
it
that
doesn't
the
talk
word-
about,
She mentioned, the record will show, at the beginning of her statement, that she mentioned that what we are proposing would double traffic. I would like to know what analysis is she
What I
getting those
said.
facts from?
what would be the effect of the traffic almost doubling from, I apologize, I have 40-foot frontage and I was wrong, but it's 100 feet, coupled with ingress and egress from the buildings to the north and south of it, with 4 drives in close proximity. And that's what I said. I just said, oh, I know about the traffic studies, you know, I'm concerned about the drives. I have had opportunity to exit the Tuscany when somebody was coming out of your driveway, and I have to figure out which direction they're gonna turn before I can make a turn. And that was what I was addressing. That was what I was addressing.
if I must say so,
Yes.
we're not discussing any particular building here.
No, I'm not.
So, you're talking about the access and
Well,
the egress of that. I mean, we can talk about side setbacks, we can talk about height, because they are relevant. But I don't think to start talking about the traffic flow and traffic problems comes into this at this stage.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
The only
Mr.
thing I
Chairman.
do want to, if you
These
could,
were my
just on the
concerns.
traffic issue and the traffic letter, I don't want to let this pass. The traffic letter that you get from the county when you do a comprehensive plan amendment is totally different than the one when you go to the county and you say, I have a specific plan of development, and please use this traffic performance standards ordinance and look at it from that perspective. Generally speaking, when you have a comp plan amendment, you put it into them, they say there's probably no new roads are available to you, the current roads are available, you know, there won't be any new roads being built in the area. It's a very broad, open idea. Once you finally go in with a specific site plan, they look at various intersections, and you must meet those intersection things, or you would have to put in certain roadways, etc. They would look at that and they would make those determinations. They have not done that with this because there is no specific plan of development at this point.
This isn't a site plan approval meeting. I mean, maybe we should get back to clearly defining why we're here,
Can I say
what
one-
we're talking about, what
Can
does the
I say
applicant
one
want.
final thing? And
Yeah.
this is, I was only reading my opinion. You don't, nobody has to agree with it. I was just making a statement of my concerns. That's
Right,
all.
thank you.
Member
Thank you, okay,
The
Peter.
only-
Let's leave it at,
The
let's
only
leave it
problem
at
with
that.
that is when you make a conclusive statement such as traffic doubling,
It,
you know, it appears to be
it
a
will be
statement
in the
of fact.
record, Peter, it will be in the record what Ms. Festino has said. So I think let's move on.
I'd like to address the traffic once more that Mr. Biggs just touched on. The county did not, you are correct, because there isn't anything there yet to evaluate in depth. But before the county, we did have 2 independent traffic studies and analysis conducted. And both concluded the same thing, that any increase there would be marginal.
That was in 2007,
And I'm assuming
right?
that you've seen both of those.
That was in 2007 when you actually applied with a site plan and details.
Which was a larger hotel, right. So any traffic would be far less with the smaller proposal.